Good evening. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society Net on the 08 machine. I'm Dave K7CYM. Western Washington Amateur Television Society is a group of amateur radio enthusiasts that take to the airways with fast scan television. We have a repeater located up on Cougar Mountain. We transmit on 70 centimeters. It's a crossband repeater and spits out images at 1.2 gigahertz in the NTSC format. To find out more about the Western Washington Amateur Television Society, please Google WW7ATS. That's Google WW7ATS. That will take you to our homepage on the internet. There you'll find the frequencies that we transmit and receive on, a little background on our club, and also you'll find a link to stream our nets at YouTube on our front page. You can do that. Also, we'd like to thank the SeaTac Repeater Association for letting us use WW7STR's repeater 147.08, and with a note, with a special tone of 103.5 for this net. That's 103.5 for this net on 147.08. So with that, I'll pause in case anybody has emergency traffic or needs to make a contact with anybody on the 08 machine before the net gets fully underway. This is Dave, KD7CYM. Not hearing none. Good evening all. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society Net on the 08 machine. I'm Dave, KD7CYM. Checked in by video link already is Ron, KD7QKU, Bob, K9BQ, and myself, Dave, KD7CYM. Let's start off with Ron, KD7QKU in Tacoma.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Dave. Good evening to the group. Small group, it looks like. This is KD7QKU. Well, the day was a beautiful day over here. I think I saw 77 on my thermometer. We went down. I was hoping Richard would be here tonight, but he's not. We went down to a park called Titlow Park. So you go down Bridgeport or Jackson Street south, turn on 6th Avenue, and you go down to the water, and you're north of the Narrows Bridge, and there's a big park down there, but they also, you go across the railroad tracks, and they poured a concrete slab, and they have about a half a dozen picnic tables and stuff down there, and some benches with backs on them to sit in and everything, and so we got down there and got a table, and I brought a couple of chairs. And we were, there's a beach down there. A lot of people, what do you call those boards? Surfboards, you know, where you paddle boards and stuff, and kayaks and stuff. They play around down there in the water. The beach is rocky, it's not sandy. But a lot of people go down there and sit in the sun and stuff. So there's about 6 tables, and they eventually were all taken with people eating their lunch or picnic like we were. So there was 5 of us. Joanne's sister and brother-in-law, and then Bob, he lives in Anchorage, Alaska. He's down here visiting Doug. They went to school together, and we're all the same age. So Bob was just out walking with them, and he fell down and lit on his face and scarred his glass lenses, scratched them, and his nose, and almost cut through his lip. And he's got scabs on his nose and chin and stuff. Poor guy. We all getting old and stagger and stumble around. So anyway, yeah, we had a beautiful lunch, and it was just perfect weather down there. So anyway, that's what I did. All right, back to net, KD7QKU.
QKU, thanks for that. Let's go on to Bothell Bob, K9BQ.
Good evening, guys. Small group tonight. Well, let's see. I did not have nearly such an active day myself. I got out in the sunshine a little bit. It's just beautiful out there, but otherwise a kind of a quiet day. I've got a lot going on coming up, but so I'm kind of preparing myself for things coming up in the future here. But right now, not a heck of a lot. So I don't know. This might be a short net tonight. We'll see. Oh, there's James. I'll send it back. K9PQ.
K9PQ and the net acknowledges James WU7N has signed on. What say you, James?
Good evening. Let's do an audio check here because I got a dryer in the background. Can everybody hear me okay? Okay, I see thumbs up there. That's good. Ooh. Wow, that's what I look like when I wake up in the morning. But anyway, well, let's see what's been going on here. I hit a milestone today. I've been trying to get something fixed on my house. I just hit my 30th contractor of contact in my business diary. When I started, I remember getting one or two in there. I thought, you know, I have my little clipboard here. I'll show it to you. Isn't cutting it, so I gotta use technology here. And the sticky notes were beginning to block out all of the view on the computer. So I started a little flat file with a business diary, and now I'm sorry I didn't start a relational database. I had no idea I was going to get above 30 different people to talk to try and get repairs done on a house in Bellevue, Washington. That's just absolutely bizarre to me. I've gone over the usual, you know, what's the problems here? Personal hygiene, perhaps, you know, my psychotically screaming at them on the phone, you know, what is the problem? But I think actually what it really is, gas, I think, is just so darn expensive. And a lot of these guys live where it's cheap to live. It's less expensive to live. So I think maybe this is how Rome fell. Everybody had to move to outer Mesopotamia, and the cheap transportation just wasn't there anymore. And next thing you know, the Colosseum was just falling over. Because you know, lack of basic maintenance. Because I mean, no one's actually said that to me, and I even brought it up with one guy. I go, is it because, you know, you're physically far away? And he go, oh, no, and he came back with one of the highest bids I've gotten so far. So I think, you know, it's not too far away, but I guess if you have to plan for 4 hours a day behind a wheel, clutching at 20 miles an hour through the traffic, and then paying $5.20 a gallon for gas, I guess, you know, that's a problem. Unless you want to rig up lights and try and do it in the middle of the night, which might tick off the neighbors. But so I guess that's the difficulty. But anybody has thoughts on this, let me know, because I used to have a job title of project manager once, so I'm really wondering what I'm doing wrong here. Beautiful weather. I went out and took a walk today, took a break. Other than that, I was pretty much on the phone the whole day. I really enjoy summer being here. I scrubbed all the pollen off my white 97 Camry and discovered that some of the green stuff seems to leave a little black stuff behind on the white paint, so I hope I can get that off. Anybody has any magic potions to treat paint that doesn't remove the clear coat and gets rid of the scars of algae on a white car, let me know. That's all the hot news I have for today, 8 minutes after the hour. I'll go as long as you guys want to go. This is James, WU7N in Northeast Bellevue. Take it away, Dave.
7N, and then net acknowledges Wade, W7ITL has joined. What say you, Wade? Was in and out. I don't know what happened there. Well, this is Dave, KD7ZYM, and here in Lake City, oh my gosh, 70 degrees and clear outside. What a gorgeous day. I did have some encounters this couple of days ago. I got ransomware on my main computer, but as usual, as I've always done, once it comes up and says your files have been taken care of, and you know, call this number and we'll fix you up. I'm not sure what form of ransomware it was, but I immediately turned the machine off, as it said not to do, and then unplugged the router and started the computer up again, then went to update and security, and I have found if you scan for viruses in that area offline, it generally takes care of that problem, and I've had that happen about 3 or 4 times in the past, and again it cleared it out and everything came back fine. So anyway, that was wonderful to get the computer back online. And I don't know if it's just everybody playing games with that version of ransomware, or if it, is the real deal. Who knows? But it did happen when I went over to Kaiser Permanente's website, which I got a note. I had a message at the site to go retrieve, and then I got a notice from Kaiser about 2 hours ago saying that they had been scammed or had ransomware on their computers and was cleaning it out. So who knows, that might have been where I picked it up. But let's see, and speaking of Kaiser, I went and got my COVID shot today, so I'm up to date now. It's been 6 months since I got my last one. Oh my, this afternoon I came home. This was a noontime shot. Came home, got something to eat, and I just kind of was feeling kind of sleepy, and I ended up doing about a 2.5-hour nap. Got up, I felt pretty good. So anyway, so for a little soreness in the arm, but outside of that, that's about it. And let's see, we got Wade back, W7ATS. Let's try him.
7ATS. Let's see if I can get switched in. Looks like you got me on over the digital link. It's gonna be, oh, here we are. Let's see if I can get this working. It does take me a second. I gotta do this. Let's see if I can get this to work. Is that working? No. There we go. Alright, well, I'm gonna make this real short, guys, because I have another thing that I'm working on over here with my son. So I just wanted to check in once and say hi to everybody. It looks like the repeater's working great. Alright, well, I've been working on training all of this week, so I'm pretty burned out, so I'm going to make it real short here and say 73s to everybody. I'm getting my audio somehow over Jitsi, so I think some of you might have their microphone turned on. But yeah, anyways, take care, guys. I'll see you probably not this Saturday because it's field day. I'm probably going to be doing field day with the local ham club here in Tacoma, W7DK. It's going to be at Western Hospital Friday, Saturday, and Sunday morning. All right, well, I will catch you guys later.
Wade, thanks for joining the net. And this is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net on the 08 machine. I'm Dave, KD7CYM. Well, let's go up to Ron, KD7QKU.
KD7QKU here. Well, you were talking, Dave was talking about he had ransomware or something. I had a strange thing the other morning. My cell phone rang, and I was talking to my friend Kim, and I didn't answer it, and right on the screen of my phone, this, what do you call it, message started to appear, like a voicemail message, right on the screen. And it said it was from Aetna Insurance, that's our medical, and they wanted me to call them or something. And I didn't. I ignored it for sure. And then after I got through talking to Kim, I went back and looked, and sure enough, there was a voicemail in my voicemail. But I never had it when they put the voicemail in that it showed on my screen of my phone. That was really weird. I don't know, something new. So then after breakfast, I called Aetna and talked to them, and they didn't know anything about it. So I'm glad, and I deleted it then from my voicemail message and got rid of it. But yeah, who knows what's out there. They use every opportunity they can to try to get a hold of us, get you to answer. Amazing. So I don't know. Let's see what else is going on. Not too much. Our old cat is kind of still hanging in there. Probably take her over again tomorrow, get some fluid for her. We had her over on Monday. We've been going twice a week now. She throws up once in a while, and she doesn't feel very good. She's lost a lot of weight. So, but anyway, we're trying to keep her going for a few more months anyway, to see what happens. Her prognosis is terrible. So anyway, that's what's going on over here in Tacoma. Back to net, KD7QKU.
Okay, let's go to K9PQ. Maybe we can get an update on Sparky.
Is hanging in there. She's doing pretty well, and she's had this problem in her hindquarters for a while now. She just is a bit unstable on her back legs, and it's a little stiff when she gets up, it seems like. But if she gets excited and wants to race around, she'll race around just like always. So I don't think there's anything seriously wrong. I'm not sure exactly what it could be. She doesn't seem to be suffering or anything, but it's just kind of what's going on with her. But yeah, she sure enjoys the afternoon sun. I get the afternoon sun coming in through the sliding door, and she is stuck in the sunshine, that's for sure, when it's there. It's the one time she doesn't come running when the dinner bell rings. When my alarm goes off at her dinner time, I actually called to her, and then I realized, oh yeah, she's in the sunshine. Sure enough, she just kind of looked back at me, and she ate later. She finally got hungry and decided to come over and bug me to feed her. So yeah, things are going well with her. I haven't seen that I've seen something similar to that, what you're talking about with the message where something came on my screen. But, I usually have the phone to my ear, so I don't see those things. But I think one time I did when I got a call and I was using the headset or something, and I saw something come up on the screen. But, yeah, they're just always making changes. They're always doing more things. Kind of just the way it is, I guess. But I never have, Dave, had the problem with the ransomware. It sounds like it's fake to me. Otherwise, your computer would already be, locked up when they told you. But anyway, it sounds like you're being very safe about it, which is the right thing to do. So it's all good anyway. I'm glad everything's good for you. And do let me know if the virus detection software found anything. That would be interesting to me. Okay, I'll send it back, K9PQ.
PQ, thanks for that. Let's go to James, WU7N.
Typing there. These two, I put on the digital side a couple of IP addresses that you can poke into your domain name services, your DNS, and what those will do is they will filter out a lot of malware and advertisings and other stuff. There's two other DNSs that will also advertise anything that looks racy. And they're the same, to me this is brilliant because the company that's doing this, they usually sell these services to corporations. And this is why your corporate computer never has pop-ups with, come see Trixie's marvelous hands. That's a visual joke. Because, they're paying for a service that blocks that out. But to me it's just brilliant that they're saying, well, if you're a, not-for-profit user, which most of us, are, fall into that category, individual user at home, you can also use them. So that's, the most brilliant advertising in the world because everybody using it at home, when the boss wants an answer tomorrow because he's tired of Trixie's beautiful hands popping up on the screen, what are people going to do? They're going to go to what they know has worked at home. So that's, I think, really clever. I am sorry to hear that you're getting hit with some sort of ransomware. Even something that pops up and says you have it is just annoying as anything. So you might want to consider trying the DNS trick. Or also, I think Bob uses one too, a VPN, virtual private network, because a lot of the VPNs also run everything through filters that get out, the hottest, newest sites that they know are transmitting garbage, and whether it's advertising or malware or whatever. I use NordVPN. I think Bob uses Shark. Is that what you use, Bob? Yeah, I see nodded head there. Anyone that's not Vladimir's private VPN service for only 50 cents a month will probably work. Said COVID vaxes don't work. I mean, if I could get a 2.5 hour nap, solidly every night, I'd get one every day. I'm a chronic insomniac, so I think you scored on that one, Dave. Good work. Since we were all sharing our bizarre phone experiences, my home phone has a telemarketer block on it, and I was getting hit a couple of times with, and this is intentional, they're giving leaving me fragments of a voicemail that sort of sounds contractor-ish, but it's not the number they're calling from. And so it's like little tidbits, like it's a broken up message, like, yeah, Bob, call me back, and I got Terry's schedule. We could get you a bid right away. And so they're trying to get you to call back, and I'm sure I didn't pursue it to see what they're doing, but I'm sure they probably want a credit card number for identification or something like that, including the little numbers on the back. But I thought that really does show you, just like when I was shopping for a lawyer about a year and a half ago, there's whole fraud empires built around poor people trying to get lawyers. People saying, that if you just give us all this personal information, we'll get you a lawyer right away. And likewise, apparently, that is an avenue for fraud. People who are desperate to get their roof caving in or something like that, get someone to work on it. Apparently, that is also being used for fraud as an approach. Also, other good news, Bob. I'm glad Sparky is lying in the sun. What more could any of us ask for? I went out, as I said, on a walk today. I just couldn't sit behind my computer making phone calls the entire day, so I took a break and walked up and down the street just to enjoy. I consider this really kind of the first summery day we've had. It was a little warm outside. Yesterday I pressure washed one of my vehicles and also one of my recycle cans, and it was nice to set everything out in the sun and just let it naturally dry out. You don't have to wait 3 days while it dries out in the garage. It just did it in one day. Amazing. Well, that's the hot news here from Northeast Bellevue. I'm James, WW7N with the Western Washington Amateur Television Society. I'm going to turn it back to our net control, KD7ZYM. Go ahead, Dave.
7N, thanks for that. Yes, and when I ran my virus check, it did come back saying virus was deleted. It was something real, but anyway, Microsoft took care of the problem, and nothing seems to be damaged in the computer at this point. So anyway, contrary to what they say, don't turn off your computer. Do it as fast as you can, then go over and unplug your router, and then scan offline, and that seems to be takes care of the problem, then Microsoft's problem anyway, of taking care of it. So that's about it. This is Dave, KD7ZYM. Well, let's go back up to Ron, KD7QKU.
Goes around fast, KD7QKU here. I didn't know there was a new COVID vaccine out already, Dave. You got it from I can't say, your company your medical insurance company, I guess. So, I guess maybe we'll get one in the fall if they have one out. I'm not anxious to get another one. Yeah, Wade put, Joanne had a little problem one time. I don't know, it wasn't exactly ransomware, I don't know what it was, but she had a problem, so Wade put her on something, I don't know what he put her on, That's when we first got here. Anyway, it's worked just fine. I wish I could remember the name of what it is. And she does all of her searches and everything. I quit using my computer for any searches or anything. I use my phone. I look up everything on my phone. And if you get a problem on your phone, you just delete the app, and go out and reload it, put it back in, and it's all gone. So it works great for me. And I can read my phone just fine, so I use my phone for all the searches I do. So I only turn the computer on now for net nights. Other than that, I never have it on. I read my email, I text, I do everything on my phone. I love my little phone. So anyway, works good. So, what else? That's about it. So we can wrap it up early if you guys want to, because I'm kind of out of things. Trying to think. Let's see, Saturday. I wasn't here Saturday, I guess. I wasn't here on Saturday. We had a graduation party over at the compound, it's called. So, Jenny, Doug and Phyllis's daughter, married to a young man, they're 50 years old now, named Richie, and his folks out on this little airport out by south of 512. They have property on the airport. They have big swimming pool and it's a two-story house, a concrete block house, and the bottom is garages and airplane hangars and shops and everything. He owns 4 Corvettes. He owns one 68 Corvette, and then he owns 3 newer Corvettes. And he had to buy a hoist so he could lift. He was running out of parking space, out of garages. He had to buy a hoist so he could lift one Corvette up in the air and drive the other one underneath. So I think maybe he's through buying Corvettes now. But anyway, he's got a Corvair convertible in there that he's restoring, and about a 68 old Corvette. They just painted those two. Painted the Corvette yellow and the Corvair red. Got a 52 Chevy 2-door sedan in there that they're in the process of. I guess that was Richie's car when he was in high school, and they're restoring it. So when Richie married Jenny, he had a 66 Chevelle. It was absolutely beautiful, and I think he sold it for about $60,000 to raise some money when they got married. So, and then somebody had a 57 Chev convertible, red and white, and they used that when they, left the church to go on their honeymoon or whatever you do, when you drive away from the church service. They drove away in this 57 Chev convertible. So it's a pretty neat place. Part of the hangar, it's kind of open. It's got a roof and windows on the side, but it's open on the end. And they have a lot of tables that they made with wheels on the bottom so they can push them out of the way. And that's where they have these parties and stuff out there. And then inside the hangar, when you first go in, on the right-hand side, there's a bunch of old leather furniture, and there's a great big old TV set. And there's some big old chairs, and that's where they kind of hang out. So you're having a party outside, and if there was something interesting like a baseball game or something would be on the inside, you could go in and sit and watch the baseball game. It's quite a place. They have tons of motorcycles, my goodness. Here a while back, somebody stole like 6 of their motorcycles, and they have a whole bunch of little motorcycles. As the kids grew up, they must have had a dozen little bitty, Honda 50s or Hondas, whatever they are. They're little wheeled. They're not a normal motorcycle. Anyway, we were talking about him, and I said, I thought he still has a bunch of them. I said, I thought they got stolen. Yeah, no, he said this one, he got it back from Arizona, Tucson, Arizona, or someplace. They recovered it, and they called him, and he said he had it shipped home, and it cost him more to have it shipped home than the thing was worth, of course. But they're pretty expensive still, these little motorcycles. But anyway, they got some itty-bitty ones. They got some itty-bitty ones with training wheels on them, if you can believe that. So So it's quite a place. It's sort of fun to go out there. There was a big crowd. 2 kids graduated, so 2 cousins. So there was 2 parties going on at the same time as a lot of people. Oh, let me let it drop. I don't have anything to say, so I can just blab on here for a few more minutes. So, Eli, he's the one that graduated, is Joanne's sister's daughter's son, and he has a girlfriend. Her name is Nola, and she plays softball, and they almost won the state championship, but not quite. They lost out on a game to win the championship, and another team won for the state. So anyway, Nola's parents were over. There was a party, Saturday night. This party was Sunday afternoon. So the Saturday night party, her parents and her grandmother were there, and I was antisocial. I guess Joanne said. I sat in the kitchen and visited with Doug, my brother-in-law, and Richie, and that's the father of the son, and his dad and stuff, and Matt, another son-in-law of theirs. We all know each other real well, and we were sitting in there visiting. And I never went in and talked to Nola's parents, and Joanne kind of gave me a bad time about that. She mentioned it. She didn't give me too bad a time, but she just meant. So when we were out at the party on Sunday, I decided that I needed to go talk to them. So they were sitting at a table behind us, and so they had pizza. And so after I got through eating my pizza and salad and whatever, I got up. There was a stool. There's stools at these tables, and I went in and sat down next to this guy. His name is Randy Riley, and I introduced myself and told him who I was and everything, and apologized for not visiting with him on Saturday night, because Joanne said they were standing around in the living room or something, because they didn't know anybody. So anyway, I was sitting there talking to him, and he's a real nice guy, and conversation went on, and he said to me, "What did you do?" And I said, "Oh, I kind of fix wrecked cars and stuff, mostly when I was working." And then I said, "Well, what did you do?" And he said, "Well, I'm a welder in the fabrication shop at Metro Transit, and I did that job in the 80s. I was down there." I said, "You're not going to believe this." I said, "Do you know Gus?" And he said, "Yeah, no, Gus retired. I taken his place." And I said, "I worked with Gus in the fabrication shop there as a welder for a while." And he said, "You're kidding." I said, "No." So that was kind of interesting. We both have had the same job, and so I just thought that was real interesting. So we had all kind of things to talk about then. So anyway, back to net. It's kind of a small world. You run into people like that. All right, back to net. KD7QKU.
QKU. Always best to have friends that have deep pockets. Well, let's go to Bob, K9PQ.
Hey, well, I don't have a whole lot more to say for myself, but I did get a video from my brother today, Don, in Hawaii, and he had a video of a monk seal with a pup, and they are highly endangered seals, basically from overfishing, seal hunting for many, many years, and they're protected now, of course, and in fact, there are so few of them that there were people with the group that looks out for them, that were actually standing there to keep other people away and to kind of inform the public and just kind of keep watch. And he was asking, well, do they have any other predators really? And they said, no, really just people. That's pretty much it. I'm sure the occasional killer whale will get one or two, but he said people are the biggest danger to them. But they're coming back slowly, and so it's looking good. I got curious and looked it up. It's hard to get hard numbers, but they think they're around 15 to 1,600 right now. That's how few there are, but they're slowly growing, at least from what they can tell. So I think that's a pretty cool story. Well, I'm okay ending early as well. I really have nothing more to say, so I'm just going to send it back. K9PQ.
9PQ, thanks. Well, let's do a final then, and we'll go to James, WW7N.
Put that one in for you. This is kind of a stretch. Fear without being a mobile phone is called no-mo-phone-bia. That's a real stretch, isn't it? Had to just pop that one in. Talking about meeting someone who worked at the same place as you did, that's funny, because, I mean, that is a much smaller population. When you work for some big company, like a Dow 30 company, you know, it's not uncommon at all to just be sitting next to somebody in an airport, and it turns out you work for the same company or something. But that is strange when you get down to the Metro transit shop. That's a much smaller population. If you can, sometime maybe show us the video of the monk seal. We'd be interested in that, maybe with a little larger audience. About a decade and a half ago, I had an experience with a monk seal. And we, on the boat I was on, we couldn't figure out why it was so interested in me. It was coming very, very close to me, as in like right up to my face. And we finally figured out it must be because I was wearing a face mask that had a diopter built into it, and so that would make my eyes look very big. And so it was curious. I guess we figured out it was curious why my eyes were so much bigger than everybody else's. Because it would look at everybody else, and it was swimming circles around us and everything. And there was a wildlife photographer on the boat with us. He said, "Don't turn your back on him," because you know they pretty much treat you just like you're another seal, which I guess they nip at each other and stuff like that, like when they get mad or watch me or pay attention. The other fun game I was playing is there was an attachment on the bottom of the ocean floor, and our vessel was moored to that attachment. And so we had a very skilled free diver. She went over the side to take our rope down there. Seal, I thought this was just so much fun because she would go down and tie it, and then the monk seal would wait, and then the game was she would go down and untie it, and then see how long it would take for her to free dive back down. And again, they're pretty smart. I mean, they must have recognized, you know, she didn't have a tank, or, you know, she's just free diving. So I just thought that was kind of amazing how intelligent this thing was. And also, some people had like little noodles and stuff, and it was playing noodles with people. Like you thought this was fun to grab one and run off with it and then let it go and see if you would come back for it and stuff like that, like playing catch or something. But you're correct. As soon as it went up on the water on the beach, there was a wildlife guy that stood in front of it. But I guess they can't police it, and we weren't chasing after the seal. The seal was chasing after us. So, you know, they couldn't do anything about that. Disappointed, there had been turtle reports around there, and I guess, you know, these pictures you see where the deep sea turtles, where people are hanging on to the turtle, and the turtle's like pulling you along, that's a no-no. You're not supposed to do that. We were told don't do that. Do not do that. So, of course, naturally, everybody was hoping one would come by, so, you know, we could, well, whatever. If you guys want to go 38 minutes after the hour with the Western Washington Amateur Television Society, I guess we could call for visitors, Dave. I'll do that. Anybody wants to just break in and say hello, check in, check out, or join the conversation, you could come now. Well, there's that many people calling all at the same time. We'll have to break it up next time. A through C, D through Z, you know, whatever. Okay, Dave, take it away. This is James, WW7N in Northeast Bellevue.
7N, thanks for that. And we'll call the net short tonight. I'd like to thank the SeaTac Repeater Association for letting us use WW7STR's repeater 147.08 for our voice transmissions. So on behalf of the Western Washington Amateur Television Society, this is Dave, KD7CYM, signing off the net early, 8:39. Good evening all.